Welcome to lecture series of Introduction to RF Basics. In this module, we'll discuss about the RF module of transmitter and receiver. This is the RF module. Here in this RF module, we'll have the number of blocks like sub-blocks of transmitter, receiver, ICs and then antennas. And this RF module is a small electronic circuit that is used to transmit, receive or transreceive the radio waves on one of the several carrier waves. For this either we can able to transmit the data in the form of radio frequency signals, or else like we receive the data in the form of radio frequency, or else we'll have the transmitting and receiver of both simultaneously. We call as a transceiver using the radio frequency. And here we can see this, when the signal is we are going to transfer, we'll have the carrier frequency also, that we'll discuss in the oscillator block. And this RF model is a functional integrated of semiconductors, like we use in for example we use in VLAN, Zigbee, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID. All this we use all this will have the transceiver module. A transmitter or a radio transmitter is an electronics device that produces the radio waves with the help of antenna. A transmitter generates radio frequency current applied to the antenna, which in turns produce the radio waves. So here this RF system will this like we call as transmitter. It will transmit the data in the form of radio frequency signal, that is radio frequency current will be generated here, and that it will lead to the antenna, in which the antenna radiates. So this transmitter generates radio waves for the communication. So we use the radio waves for the communication purpose and the navigation purpose. So this transmitter can be of either in a piece of separate electronic circuits, or it can be, this transmitter can be integrated in the form of ICs into the another electronic circuit. So this way we use this like transmitter. Transmitter is used in the microphones, videos from the TV camera, or the digital signals for the wirelessing and networking devices. So this transmitter combines the informational signal that is carried with the RF generated by the radio wave, that is called as carrier wave. So information signal is generated and then carrier wave is combined, that we call as in modulations. So this carrier frequency waves we can discuss in the oscillator block. Receiver. A radio receiver is a device that receives the radio waves and convert the information that is carried by them into the usable form. So here in transmitter block, we'll transmit the data in the form of signal. That is, we'll have the transmitter and then we'll convert it to radio frequency and we'll give the antenna radiate. And in the receiver block, first thing is we'll have the antenna, and then we'll go, what are the data is coming, we'll get into the form of DC current and DC waves, and then we'll transmit the data to the receiver block, in which the receiver will mask the data, that is it will be separate the information signal and the carrier signal separately and give to the receiver block in the understandable form. So this receiver is also can be used to integrate it in the IC, or else it can be integrated in another IC. So an antenna can intercept the electromagnetic wave, radio waves, and that converts them into the alternating current that is applied to the receiver. So whatever I have explained now, that is like antenna, what is it doing, like it is intercepting the EMF waves and it converts that alternating current to, which is applied to the receiver. There are several manufacturers where we integrate the receiver circuits, such as the wireless receiver, RF receivers and the NFM receivers. This picture shows the basic block diagram of transceiver block diagram, and here you can see this is a transmitter block and this is the receiver block, and here you can see what the data is converted. We can convert into the intermediate frequency of low frequency, and then we'll give for the mixer where we combine the carrier frequency of local oscillator, then we pass to the band pass filter, power amplifier where we amplify into the high frequency, and then we will go for the antenna. So in the this block transmitter block will be the vice versa of this. Now in the reverse, in the receiver block, we'll receive the data and then we'll convert it to the band pass in the filter LNA. It will go to the low noise amplifier and then it will mix with the local oscillator in the mixer will combine with the signal they gave the local oscillator, and then it will convert the signal to the intermediate of low frequency. And this will not discuss this part of this we call as an like digital part, and here is also like digital part. So this is the major block where we use in the RF frequency. So here this block we call as an high frequency block. So this is an important block in the receiver section. Like high frequency block where we use this is a very important block thing. So in next I'll show next slide we'll discuss about this in deep in the RF front-end system. This is the RF front-end block. Sometimes we call it as an FE system in receiver, and many receiver you can see this block as an FE block or else RF front-end block. And this is a very important block in the radio receiver. And here you can see this is an antenna where we get this high frequency of signal of RF, and it gives to the filter. And this to this next is from after the filter it will amplify the signal, and then we'll amplify. After amplifier we'll go for the mixer where we combine the high frequency signal which is generated by the local oscillator. So this system, whatever it is in the pink, that we called as in the system, up to here we called as an RF system, RF front end. So it is a very important block in the receiver section, and this is the like after that we'll convert it into the intermediate frequency of low frequency, and this is the digital block whatever I discussed in the previous slide. In the radio receiver circuit, the RF front end is a generic term for all circuitry between the antenna up to including the mixer stage. So here you can by whatever I said now, so here you can see up to this mixer we call this as a generic block we call as an RF state. This is like RF front-end state. So it consists of all the component in the receiver that process the signal at the original incoming radio receiver before it is converted to the lower intermediate frequency. So whatever the blocks whatever blocks we have, this like filters, amplifier, mixers, low orders. So the signal will get processed in all the blocks till, and then it is converted in the intermediate frequency. So this is an important block of RF front-end system. This is the basic block diagram, which I will discuss in each block separately. The one is filter, amplifier, local oscillator in the upcoming lectures. We'll discuss about RF filter in the next upcoming lectures. Thank you for watching.